All right, so guys, we're gonna look at some over/under passing from the open guard position. We can do this from a standing position. We can do this from being on our knees, passing on our knees. But we're gonna set this up from the standing position. So we're in open guard position. The first thing I want to think about when I'm on top is trying to keep my feet away as far as I can at first, just so I'm not getting caught up in a deli heba position or having her hooks grabbing behind my legs. So trying to keep my feet back away from her feet here. I'm not bringing my feet in front, so we're not starting from here. I'm looking to keep my feet back and then make some kind of grips. So for right now, we're going to start both hands on the inside of my partner's knees. So you're just going to make a grip on the inside of the knee here, having inside control. And then when I'm looking to pass, right now she's square. So she's square to the mat. Her hips are square to the mat, square to the ceiling. I want to start to pass and get her hip down towards the mat, getting this knee down towards the mat if I'm passing to this side. So my hands to the inside, keeping my elbows in. I'm going to walk to my left and then pin this knee down, okay? But I also want to trap this leg. So right now her knee is connected to her elbow. This space is filled. So I'm going to look to drag this knee back and then trap her leg, almost like I want to mount this bottom leg. So when we're here and I walk and I pin this leg down, I stop to about here and I'm going to start to push this knee down. Once I push the knee down and I want to keep it here, my left knee is going to go above her knee, so that's going to be a block. She can't bring her knee back. And my right knee is going to go right behind her knee here. So just like I'm going to mount this bottom leg here in this position. Usually when we get here and I force this half guard position, she'll take her hook and she'll hook my leg. If she doesn't, then it's going to be an easy pass, but she should be doing the right thing and making a hook here. My right hand is going to circle under her leg. Okay, so this is going to be that over/under position. My right hand is going to circle under, and I'm reaching for her belt. So at first, we're starting square with the hips. I look to bring one hip down towards the mat, get my grips, and then we square them back up to get the pass. So my right hand will circle under. I'm bringing my shoulder to the bend of her leg. It's going to reach, try to grab a hold of the belt. You can grab the pants, whatever you want from this position. Just get a good grip from here. So right hand is going to grab a hold of the belt. I drop my shoulder. My left hand now is going to switch. So I'm grabbing a hold of the pants. I want to start to hug her leg in this position. So from here, my left hand is going to reach over and I start to hug the bottom leg. But in order for me to really get a good grip, I need to put my weight on top of my partner. So just almost like I'm cutting her in half. So my shoulder is going to go directly into the stomach and my head is going to go into the pocket on this side. So from here, I drop. I start to get on my toes so I can start to get my hand under. My shoulder goes directly into the stomach and my head goes into the pocket. Like I said, I'm trying to cut her in half from this position. Now, we have to try to take our right leg out, but her right leg is hooking our leg. So we're going to start to work to tilt the hips. So from here, I get on my toes and I drive all my weight into my partner. I want to tripod up as much as I can. I use my right hand that's on the collar or on the belt to tilt the hips. So from here, I pull and I tilt the hips until her hips are square. Now I'm going to start to walk to my right. So I'm winding this up. If I walk to my left, I can't clear my hook. I walk to my right to straighten her leg out. I pinch my knees to put pressure on her knee to get rid of this hook. So I straighten and I get rid of the hook. My foot is going to come up towards my hip and I windshield wipe right over. Okay? So over here, on my toes, I pinch, foot comes up, I windshield wipe over, I extend my leg back and I let my knee catch that leg. So I'm shelving her leg up on my hip. My knees are going to drop down to the mat, covering the hips up. My left hand is reaching behind the collar. Now to kind of solidify and hold the position, my head is going to go above my partner's shoulder here. Right? I don't want her pushing my head down. This is going to be the fight. So as soon as I start to get past, I bring my head above my partner's shoulder. My hand comes out, I block the hip. And now I can start to climb up and get the pass. So again, starting on their back, the goal is to first, we're starting square. I want to get her hip down to the mat. Once I have my grips, I need to tilt her hip back to the other side. And when I say tilt the hip, it means grabbing a hold of the belt, getting to here. I'm pulling my elbow back towards my hip and the other elbow up towards the head to tilt the hip. And I'm turning my knees in that direction. So here, inside control, I walk. Okay, this space is closed right now, so I start to push, bringing my left knee over her knee to block it from coming back. My right knee goes behind hers, like I'm forcing this half guard position. She does a good job of making that hook. From here, we're going over under, so my right hand is starting to swim under. I bring my shoulder to the bend of the leg. So I'm not doing this and try to pull this leg up. I drop down as low as I can. I reach and I grab a hold of the belt. If I'm not on my toes, I'm going to have a hard time getting my hand under. So once I get my shoulder to the stomach and my head inside the pocket, I start to get on my toes and I'm hugging this bottom leg. All right? So once I hug the bottom leg, this is where we start to tilt the hips. So just hop on this side right here. Okay, so from here, my elbow is going to go back towards my hip, and my other elbow, my free elbow, or my left elbow, is going to go up towards the head to tilt. So when we get to here, on my toes, I'm cutting my partner in half, still controlling this knee line. I start to tilt the hip here. Now I can start to walk. Remember, so I'm not walking towards the head. I won't be able to take my leg out. I walk to my right, pinch my knees. So now I start to free that hook. My foot comes up, I windshield wipe over, I straighten my leg and let my knee catch. So I'm shuffling the leg up towards my hip, keeping the hips tilted and driving. Hand reaches behind the collar. My head goes above the head, so she's not pushing down here, so I keep my head above the head. Now I take my right hand out. So I circle my hand out towards my stomach, block the hip, walk, and then get right back. So one more time. And I just want to go over a couple things a couple problems that happen in this position. So when you think about the over-under position, what it really is a triangle, right? So if I get to here and I don't control this bottom leg, so let's say for instance we're here, okay? And I get to here and I go like this and I don't keep pressure on this bottom leg, her hip comes out and she locks the triangle. Okay, so that's going to be our biggest problem, is the triangle from the bottom position. That's one way. Another way you'd probably get triangled if you're trying to throw that leg back and fall into your hip. So let's say we're here like this, and the pressure isn't right, okay? Because she has her knee free, she can just circle her foot to the outside. That's one, okay? Let's go back for a second. But let's say I'm here, and I do have that knee, I'm controlling that knee, but I decide to try to throw my leg back and then fall to my hip. Once I fall to my hip and I try to regain my stance and come up, that's when you get triangles. So those are the two common mistakes that are going to happen when you're trying to pass from this position. So we have to control this bottom leg, keeping everything in tight. So again, if we're here, I walk, pinning this knee down, which is controlling her hip. Push, I drive my knee in front, and I'm mounting, getting right to half guard on this bottom leg. She does a good job of making that hook. I change my levels. Here, I circle under, I grab the belt. My left hand is going to reach under her leg, but I can only do that when I start to drive my pressure into her, bringing my head in the pocket and getting my knees off the mat. So from here, shoulder drops, head inside the pocket, I get on my toes, and now I can hug that bottom leg. I start to tilt the hips, so I'm going to pull, turn, walk to my right, pinch my knees and start to straighten that hook. Windshield wipe over, I extend, and I let my knee catch. I drop my left knee, covering the hips up, reaching, going thumb inside the collar, head over the shoulder. Okay, once my head is over the shoulder, I can circle my hand out. And another, like I said, the triangles. If my head is by the hips and my arm is in between her legs, and I don't get my head above the shoulder, she can pass her leg over, start to attack. So as soon as I start to advance and climb up, my head has to climb up in this direction. Block, turn the hips, and get back past.